This episode of Hillingdon Speaks is rather special. We're going to be interviewing the Mayor of Hillingdon. We're outside the Civic Centre in Uxbridge where the Mayor's Parlour is, and we're going to be having a chat to him about what he does on a day-to-day basis. I'm sure it'll be fascinating. Do have a watch or a listen. Welcome to Hillingdon Speaks, Mayor Philip Corthorne. I know we've met a few times before. I think we bonded over our love of cricket. Is that right?
We did indeed, at the Ickenham Cricket Club at their fun day last summer. Very hot day.
Yeah,
lovely occasion.
It was, and I've seen you a few times since. And firstly, thank you for all you do for the borough and just for all the things that you get involved with. For people that don't understand your role as a mayor, which includes myself actually, because I wouldn't fully understand, what is your role actually in terms of what does it entail on a day-to-day basis?
First thing I should say is I'm a civic and ceremonial mayor. I'm not a political mayor in the sense that the Mayor of London is, for example. So my role is very much, first of all, I'm known as First Citizen of the Borough. I represent His Majesty the King on a number of formal occasions. For example, when we can confer citizenship to new citizens in the borough, that's part of it. I chair full council meetings. Now remember, I'm in an apolitical role, so although I'm a politician, you might care to think of me as a politician on sabbatical this year. But it's my job to make sure that I steer a fairly even course on the council, that people are reasonably, respectful of each other, and the debate is conducted in the right way. So I'm a bit of an honest broker, I suppose you might say. Quite apart from that, civic and ceremonial events, business openings, school visits, parlour visits, charitable fundraising activities. I've done a lot with health and voluntary sector partners this year because in my past life I was cabinet member for adults and health. So I've already got relationships there and I'm very keen to see what goes on. One of the great things about this role is the insights you get. Yeah,
I'm sure, and it's very unique insights. Yeah, and we can talk about that as well. And what kind of personally got you to want to be a mayor? Is there a particular journey that you went on that you felt that you wanted to get into?
I suppose that journey is one that's taken me 33 years since I was first elected as a councillor. It wouldn't have occurred to me for a long time because I was in cabinet for many years. I had responsibility for a number of things. And the mayor's role was always one for a backbench councillor, i.e. not a senior councillor. And I had the opportunity to do it. And I felt that the experience that I had as a councillor, working with stakeholders, charities, voluntary organisations, businesses, put me in good stead to take on the role. And I thought it was about the right time. I got to an age where I could give up work for a year, because I think you do need to do that to do it well. And it felt like the right time for me. I was lucky enough to be asked.
Well, we're glad that you were. And is there something in particular that surprised you about the role since you started it?
I suppose the fact that a diary isn't full every minute of the day doesn't mean you're not doing anything, because I think to do the role well, you need to prepare. You need to research. You need to ask, one or two intelligent questions to the people you're meeting. You need to have some insights that are worth sharing. I think it all adds to the engagement experience. It's so important. I mean, it sounds very cheesy, this, but we are in the business of making memories with organisations that we meet, and I think you can't do that without putting some time and effort into it. So even if there's not something in the diary, we're doing research, we're writing speeches, we're sending thank you notes, you name it. So it is quite full on.
And I can imagine as well. And I've seen you when you're at events and you're talking to a lot of people as well.
That's right.
So it's I'm sure in terms of you've gone across the whole breadth of Hillingdon, all the different parts. It's quite a big borough.
It is.
Is there anything that stands out as why it's distinctive compared to other boroughs in London?
Well, it's a long, narrow borough, of course. I suppose it's distinctive because we've probably got more green spaces and parks than any other London borough. Some wonderful spots. We've got more canal towpaths than any other borough, of course. But of course, we've got the Heathrow Airport and the south of the borough, which tends to be more industrial. Heathrow being the gateway to London. That's what I say to visitors from abroad when they come to the parlour. So there's an awful lot going on in this borough, which is fascinating, and absolutely love it. It's my home. I've lived here most of my life.
And I've noticed when you've come to events, you're always spending a lot of time talking to people like genuinely interested, and like you said, you do the research beforehand about them as well. Is there something that you've learned about the people of Hillingdon in particular along this journey?
Well, I think it's probably not something I've learnt, but I think I've already known this really all my life. But when you meet organisations and some of the people who volunteer to help, there are so many wonderfully public-spirited people who give of their time for no charge. They don't rush onto social media to promote themselves and what they're doing, because, as a lot of people do. These are wonderful, wonderful people, and they're all over the place doing some wonderful things in lots and lots of different ways. I think being in this role gives you a window on that you wouldn't otherwise have.
Well, really well said. And even our podcast wants to shout out all the unsung heroes in the borough, and there's plenty of them.
It would be invidious for me to even start, but there are some wonderful, wonderful people out there, believe you me.
No, that's fine. And then going on to that, in terms of the charitable causes that you chose, I'd like you to explain a little bit about why you chose them, what they are and what they're all about.
Yes, well, the first one is Hillingdon Stroke Support. So I myself am a stroke survivor. Back in 2017, I had a stroke, and strokes can give people some terribly cruel afflictions, disability. I was very fortunate. In my case, my speech is slightly impaired. You might notice it means I have to make more of an effort with my speech, and I need to speak slowly. But one of the things I learned through my journey was the importance of people getting the right support and working hard on their recovery at an early stage. The more you do at an early stage, the better the chance you have of a good recovery. And a better life chances. So this is a charity, Hillingdon Stroke Support. That's they're retired physiotherapists, speech therapists. They help people on that journey, and it was a natural choice for me, to be honest, given my history. My other charity is Hillingdon Send Family Support. They help families of children with special educational needs. That puts a great deal of strain on family life, and they organise tailored events to give therapy and support to those children, which is enormously beneficial. And I've been hugely impressed by their work this year, and that's why I've chosen them as well.
Two brilliant charities. And I'd like to just maybe ask how people can support, other than this event coming up, which you mentioned to me as well in April.
Yes, well, as I say, fundraising is not the principal part of the Mayor's role, but yes, we do have fundraising events. So in April, we've got the fourth of the quizzes that have been arranged for me this year. It's the St George's Day quiz on the 23rd of April at Morello Lounge in Uxbridge. Anyone who wants to come along to that, we're delighted to see them. They're great fun. They really are great, and we raise a fair amount of money too for the charities.
I look forward to coming along and meeting again then. And how else could they support these two charities, or other than turning up to these events?
Well, if anyone who wants to email mayor@hillingdon.gov.uk, we can send them details of how they can support, how they can donate. Indeed, there is information on the Hillingdon website about that anyway. So there are lots of ways that people can help, whether they're volunteering or donating money, or just being aware of the work they do. It's not just how they can help; it's how they can benefit too from those charities.
No, really good. And looking ahead, I know. I think I don't know how far ahead you look, but in terms of what you'd like to have achieved by the end of the time as your mayorship here.
Well, we only get a year, which is a very short period of time. So we're never going to change the world in a year. But what we can do, I think, is build relationships which can outlast us and can go on adding value. I worked with an organisation called Business in the Community, which is a Prince's Trust charity, about 10 years ago. And one of the things I learnt from them is the value that businesses can add to charities, and how they can work together effectively. And I've been working on that all year. I'm still working on it, and I will carry on doing so after I've handed over this mayoral chain in May in a new capacity, because it's so important. So I think it's an ongoing process. it doesn't come to an end at the end of your mayoral year. And I think that hopefully will be my legacy that my successors can build upon, as I've tried to build upon the work of my predecessors.
Yeah, awesome. Really well said. And I look forward to seeing the fruit of all of that in time to come, being part of the Chamber of Commerce as well. And what's one thing that you'd say that the residents of Hillingdon should feel proud of living in this borough? I know there's probably lots of little things, but if there's one thing that might stick out
I would have to come back to the wonderful people who help out in so many, many ways. You know, the news is full of negativity. You've only got to put I mean, half the time I don't watch it now because it's really quite grim. But in this role, you see a window on a whole different world. People who go out there and help, and we should be so, so proud of that as Hillingdon residents, because they're wonderful, wonderful people.
Yeah, no, I agree. And thank you for sharing all those insights. They're very unique insights, the lens that you have that nobody else has. So
Thank you very much indeed. It's been an absolute pleasure.
yes,
Thank you.
Great. Thank you.